This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Now, over the last couple of videos, we've talked about Dungeon Universalis, how this could be considered one of the best dungeon crawls of all time, of the modern era. It has to be held up in elite status. It really does for what it does. And a lot of people, kind of look at two games, and we compared two games, League of Dungeoneers and Dungeon Universalis, and pretty much split down the middle as far as what people feel could be the best. Either they have one or the other, or they have both. And we put out a question because somebody had said, hey, Rob, what would you do if you had to only keep one? Well, I couldn't make that decision because I really do love Dungeon Universalis for what it is. But we also have, can't forget and overlook, and one of the reasons for this video is when I think of as far as dungeon crawls, there's a big three, okay? And we're going to be talking about Warhammer Quest very soon, and we're going to be talking about some of the other dungeon crawls out there. I just have so much to say about all these. Now, I'm not a dungeon crawl expert. I do so many different things, and anybody that's followed that channel knows that, but I do have a very deep love for dungeon crawls. But this next game that we're going to talk about, it's if you make a video about one, you have to talk about the other, and and you have to talk about the other one on top of that. But today I really want to kind of highlight a little bit, and right now I have the prototype for League of Dungeoneers, and you have to talk about what Michael's been able to do on his own. A single publisher, somebody that's relied on crowdfunding and fan support. And he's earned that because, the initial box set, the rules were a little hard to get through. You could say the same for Dungeon Universalis. And I think Dungeon Universalis, where that has had 3 different editions, has really helped it. The second edition, which is going to clean up a lot of things, we have to give a lot of credit to Michael and his determination to really fulfill this dream. And the false prophet, the Frost, right, is going to be fantastic. And if you have not gotten it or late pledged it or waiting it, I'm telling you, this is something that is just just tremendous. And to have somebody be able to come up with everything that you see here is just amazing. Now, I have the prototype version, and I'm waiting to see what they're going, what's coming very, very soon to everybody. And I hope to get my copy, which I'm very excited about. But I still play Dungeoneers quite a bit. Dungeoneers is very, very unique. It has so many different old school feel to it. It does very well solo. It does very well with others. And it takes out some of the complexities that you may run into with Dungeon Universalis, where it takes certain events, Dungeon Universalis, and says, hey, this isn't going to be easy because this isn't, nobody has super strength to climb a wall 9 feet or jump from a wall 9 feet. Dungeoneers takes a little bit of that out, but it gives you a different type of complexity. It gives you a different type of sandbox feel. It does everything right, and it has to be considered one of the elite dungeon crawls of all time. I've been a big supporter of this game, along with a lot of you, and it continues to grow. And we just hope that Michael keeps on going with this, and with our never-ending support. The third quest book, which I've gone through a bit, which is just absolutely well written, and it is an improvement. Everything is an improvement. And where Dungeon Universalis has that third edition, where they've had a chance to get things right. Language barriers are very hard to breach, and sometimes you cannot convey certain messages. But this is a game, a sandbox game, that really works well with standees. And I think we're seeing a thing where not everything, let's really look at this. 2 out of the 3 of the elite dungeon crawls are standee based. Think about that. They are based off of standees, where a lot of people would say, well, you got to have the miniatures and this, that, and the other, and so forth and so on to build that theme. That's not the case here. It's the depthness, it's the beauty, it's the when you have your character sheet, how you build those characters, and the different types of characters, and what really makes that character is his stats and how he or she progresses. And League of Dungeoneers does a fantastic job of that. The randomness of the beautiful event cards. A lot of these, with the black and white art, I really love that, because it gives me that old D&D feel, when it was magical to me. And that's what this game is. You have these big, oversized, beautiful event cards that really knock you silly, or beautiful legendary items that really enhance your character and help you through tough situations. This is a game that has, you could play it in many different ways and still get such a tremendous, wonderful, eventful, I want to say a theme out of it, and the experience that you live through and you feel and you go through is gorgeous and just wonderful and moving. And this game, is one of those games that I really, really believe in my heart of hearts that I am going to have in my collection till I'm done. And that's going to be all 3 of them. And I'm talking Warhammer Quest 95, League of Dungeoneers, and Dungeon Universalis, because I believe that they are the elite of the elite. There are some great solo play and things, and I've said this in other videos, D100 and 4 Against Darkness, that will always be there. But we're talking about the giant sandbox, lay those tiles out and go for a wild ride. And I think these 3 games do it better than any. And we're going to talk about Warhammer Quest next, and then we're going to talk about second tiers as far as dungeon crawls, because I really kind of want to just talk about this one last time, and then during our playthrough, our 6 weeks of continuous playthroughs, you're going to see days of all 3 of these games in action, and how they work and how they interact with and the thing is here, what I really want to hit home, especially with this, is that if you do not have this, you need this. You need this. If you are a dungeon crawl fan, this is a must have. And well worth the investment, well worth everything that it does. and we're really going to be breaking these games down during those I believe it's almost like 26 to 28 playthroughs as I take a little time off. That'll be pre-taped, and I think it'll be beneficial because the channel doesn't slow down. What happens is you have these unique playthroughs. You can get a feel for certain things, and I want to touch on different things. And during my exodus for a bit, as I handle a few things, you just have a wonderful feel of the games that ensue so much passion within me, and these three definitely do. But this wasn't about the other two as much as it was how brilliant Michael is and what he has done in such a small time to make such an unbelievable classic of a game. And hats off to him. I can't wait for the second edition, as well as False Prophet, which, along with the rest of you that are waiting on bated breath for these fantastic, wonderful experiences. A must-have in any Dungeon Fans collection. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.